So hi everyone, welcome to our Zoom call, July 10th. Um, Liza's away, she's at the Diamond Retreat in Utah, and Kate's also on vacation with her family. So I'm Kanani, and I'm gonna do the call tonight. And we have a few more people jumping on. So we'll just do our oily protocol. So I know Marissa's driving, but whatever oil you have nearby or whatever you feel like. It's been kind of a crazy day, so I'm going to use balance. And I'm just going to do a couple drops, and we're just going to do some really nice, deep inhales. And I'm going to let you guys kind of just get in tune and get centered. And there's no special thing that we'll say, just kind of whatever gets you centered. If it's been a rough week, if it's been a rough day, or if it's been a great day, or whatever's going on. Just take time to get centered, and we'll dive right in. So we had a surprise. We had a BOGO. That was crazy because usually we do BOGO week, and we usually do it, or not we, but doTERRA will usually throw it out like the third week of July, and it's crazy madness, and we're like rocking BOGOs every day and posting and orders, and it's crazy, but it's fun. And then they surprised us and they did one BOGO. So I don't know. I don't know if we'll have one next week and one the following week. But the Biz Babe brunch that Liza's doing next Sunday is when we're actually gonna like dive in and strategically plan how to rock BOGOs. Like if you're hitting Power of 3 or if you're trying to hit rank, like how to really hit BOGOs to make it the best benefit for you for your biz, and of course the best benefit for people that want the buy one get one free, because that's not something that's offered in today's world. It's like buy one get one half off. So I really love that doTERRA does the buy one get one free. But anybody have questions on like anything BOGO related? Like where should I place my order or whatever? Anything? You guys are good? Fraser good? Yeah, so congratulations on your second enrollment. That's awesome. Okay, yeah, I won't dive deep into BOGOs because we'll be doing that. But if there's any questions at all, you can text or call me, Liza, or Kate. And whatever your goal is, if you're going for, I know Fraser, you're starting out, if you're going for your 50 bonus, Liza will tell you exactly where to place those BOGOs. We don't usually place BOGOs on our own accounts, usually. You're kind of starting, you have maybe 3 girls under you now? Two girls under you. So yeah, I mean, it's still okay to place on your account, but if you get a third enrollment, you may want to think about, you could place on their accounts if they're cool with it. That way you get a kickback also. So we'll talk about that more later. But we're gonna dive into the sales guide. We're gonna start talking about that. So I'm gonna share my screen. And if you guys have questions, just unmute yourself, whatever, because I know what Liza's talking about. You feel like you're talking to yourself. It's really weird. So let's do that. We're going to go in there and we are going to dive into the guide. So this is where we left off. Can you guys see this? Tell me if you can, but you should be able to see this. And I'm going to go up a little bit. There we are. So if you guys have your guides out, follow along. We are on, I believe we're on page 11. And if not, you can just look at my screen. You guys can see? Everybody good? Yeah? Thumbs up? Okay. So doTERRA's sales guide, we're diving into how we share with people. So the sales cycle is a series of repeatable steps from introducing to enrolling. It acts as your guide as you share the doTERRA wellness lifestyle. So if you've gone through a biz guide with any one of us, we've talked to you about pipes, and I know Liza has talked or have Zoomed DMO and pipes. So we're going to talk about that. 9 simple steps. Number 1, connect, invite, introduce, educate, close, enroll, answer objections, gather referrals, and follow up. So the steps sometimes coincide, and they're unnecessary, I feel. You know, we may be stronger at one versus the other. You know, maybe we're not so strong with following up or so strong with enrolling, but really these 9 steps will lead you to a pretty successful business. And we try to do these steps every day. We try to connect, we try to invite, we try to introduce. So these steps fit neatly into PIPE's framework. You already are familiar with, giving you a clear roadmap and ensuring you to do not skip important steps in presenting your message. So they all fit together like this nice little puzzle. And I feel like, and DMO is a totally different topic, but when we're doing DMO and pipes, that's probably when you get the greatest success for your business. It's hard, I feel, to have a successful business and not do doTERRA every day. Something doTERRA, connecting with someone, inviting to a one-on-one or a class, introducing introducing an oil. If, you know, something simple, I'll be at a playground and a mom's wiping her kid's nose or something, I may want to just hand her On Guard spray, you know, something simple. It doesn't have to be so formal all the time. And that's what kind of leads to the education of it all, because, oh, what's this? Oh, what do I do with this? Or how do you use it on your children? So it all ties in real nice. I feel for me, sometimes the close is the hardest part, because you're wrapping things up and then you're telling them or asking them, are you ready to get started? How can I help you? What kit fits you best? But the close is so important, right? There's no point in really sharing and educating. I mean, there is a point, but you got to be able to close. You got to be able to say, like, let's get you enrolled today, or let's get you started with the LLV, or whatever it is. And sometimes I know we hesitate on that because now we're like, oh man, I got to talk to them about like spending $200 or whatever it is, you know. So that can be kind of scary. Answering objections, gather referrals, because at the end of the class, and sometimes I fall short on this, is following up with people. Please come to my next class. I'm having another class in 2 weeks. I feel like that's so good, so people know that, oh, she does classes on the weekends. It's usually every other Sunday or once a month or whatever it is. And then they'll bring a friend maybe next time, or tell their auntie or tell their cousin. So I feel like these steps are really nice, and they all fit nicely together. So implement the doTERRA sales cycle. I don't really like that word, sales. I was going through this on my lunch break today, and I was like, it is what it is, but I really like hit harder on education. We are selling things, yes, but I really, really like to educate, and I feel like they want to buy. whatever it is, the vitamins or the oils. So following pages give you a deep dive of the 9 steps in the doTERRA sales cycle. You'll learn the definition, read about practical ways to develop the skills, practice sample scripts, rate yourself on how confident you are. To further develop your sales ability, put skill building ideas into practice so you can become polished and professional wellness advocates. So, you know, yes, we do want to share in a professional manner, absolutely, but you do want to be genuine when you share too. You know, you want to speak from the heart, speak from what you know, what works for you, what works for your husband, what works for your kids, your boyfriend, whatever, your grandma, if she got started on the LLV. You want to speak from the heart and be really authentic. So we do want to be professional, but we want to be really down to earth and real. I feel like growing up in Hawaii, that's really not a problem. Like, we can probably speak easier to some people. Yeah, I just feel like sometimes you don't want to be so professional that it comes off kind of like, oh, what's going on with her? Like, why don't you just tell your story? So let's get into step number 1. Let's connect. So build authentic relationships with people everywhere you go. Get their contact information so you can continue building friendships. doTERRA is definitely a relationship business, whether we're existing with an existing relationship or someone new. So that's exactly how the biz is built, right? You enroll, and in order to make your business grow and thrive, you have to enroll and help others, and they have to help others. So it's very hard for you to grow alone because it's just designed to help other people. So skill building, smile, refer to people by name. Some of this feels common sense, but we're going to go through it. Ask questions, listen, because we want to listen more than we talk. Make a list of everyone you know who values health, purpose, and freedom. So that takes us to our 100 names list. Be positive, because people are very drawn to positivity. Connection isn't a one-time activity. We want to continue to connect over time until you find a natural opportunity to introduce doTERRA. So sometimes it comes out easy, you know, like throughout the park, like I was saying, or I don't know, if you're just sitting down having coffee with your girlfriend. And sometimes it's a little harder to bring up doTERRA. So sample script, can read it there. How are you? How's your family? I feel like, you know, we're pretty good at that. Mostly everybody on this call, I feel like we're really good at just kind of talking story, kind of local style. Yeah, like let's just sit and talk story a little bit. So take a brief, I don't know, 30 seconds and just think about a sample script, and then how would you rate yourself? How confident do you feel? So just take a few seconds and then we'll talk. Does anybody want to share? How do they feel? Confident? Yeah? No? Good? Everybody feel good? Okay. We should. I mean, I feel like we all had, you know, enrollments. We're not super brand new, so I think we're pretty good. And if not, unmute yourself. We can talk some more. So this quote is pretty cool. I was reading it earlier today. You can make more friends in 2 months by becoming interested in other people than you can in 2 years by trying to get other people interested in you. So that's pretty cool. Like goes back to listen more, talk less, get connected. Moving on, we're going to talk about step 2 of the 9 steps. Step 2 is inviting. So as you're planning your class, you know, we do Facebook posts, IG, you may even do the little what you call invitations in your class in the box, and that's great. But sometimes we need to do more. We need to text people. We need to send emails, walk across the street to your neighbor's house, do a personal text, or Liza was talking about this a couple weeks ago, pick up the phone and call. It's so easy to text now, which I don't mind doing. But sometimes people appreciate that phone call where you pick up the phone and just say, hey, I'm having a class on Sunday. So reach out to the people on your names list. So everyone should have a names list. We say 100 names list. You want to write down every person that comes to your mind, even if you sounds ridiculous. You're like, oh gosh, I'm not going to talk to her about doTERRA. Just write it down. You never know. You plant the seed, and sometimes it grows right away, and sometimes it takes a little bit more time and effort. You want to invite them to attend a class or presentation. Great invitations are personalized, passionate, relay value, and show genuine care for the one you are inviting. You want to, again, invite, but then also follow up with the invitation, because they'll forget, or they'll plan something else, or they'll become busy. So invite, and then I want to say you also want to remind them, like a day before, 2 days before. As you discover what's most important to each person by taking a genuine interest in who they are and building connections about what they are experiencing, your invitation to come to a class will feel natural. So there's been, for me, there's been classes where I've invited, 50 people, let's say, and 10 show up. And that's great. I'm like, yes, super successful. And maybe you get 4 enrollments, super successful. But there's been times where, I've invited and 1 person comes. I've invited and a person already enrolled and doing the business comes. So it's really not a new person, right? I've invited and only my sister comes. That's happened too. So it's not hard, but it can be very discouraging sometimes. And we don't want to get down on ourselves or be upset, like, oh gosh, only 1 person came. So if that 1 person enrolls, you're still at 100%. 1 person came, 1 person enrolled. So, inviting more, as many people as you can, like I said, 50 people, maybe 5 come, is a great idea. And definitely going down that names list, because you can't remember everyone, and that's why we try to make a new contact as well. Because as you make a new contact, you're adding that to your names list. Make another new contact, add that to your names list. So skill building. When talking on the phone, stand up, smile, be enthusiastic. Even though the other person cannot see you, this helps you feel confident, and they will hear the smile in your voice. Yeah, I kind of feel like that's like a no-brainer. I don't know. Do you guys have any feedback? Yeah? I feel like we kind of do that, right? Versus like, hey, hi, they come to my class. I feel like we're all pretty good at being enthusiastic when we invite. So your objective at this stage is to contact the people on your list. not make them buy. Do not try to sell products. Sell the class or the one-on-one. So that's really important because I feel we kind of get in our head about that, like, oh, I feel like I'm constantly trying to sell this enrollment kit or sell LLV, but really we want to educate. Like, we really want to educate about our oils and why they work and why our supplements are great. So that's what the class and the one-on-one is for. One-on-one is for, is that that's where you're going to get your education. That's where you're going to get to hear testimony. That's where you're going to get to try, smell, apply, whatever it is you're a little bit maybe skeptical about. So we really want to push the class, because then it should kind of fall in place. If they're going to love it after they smell it and try it, then they'll probably want to purchase something. So always have at least 2 classes or presentations on your calendar for invitees to choose between. And I feel like our team's really good about that, especially this month. We have a lot going on in July. The classes are all posted, and take advantage of that. Like, I have a class on Sunday. Liza had one. Kate's gonna have one. I think Aisha and Keisha also are doing classes. We're having an online class with Kehao. So many great opportunities to tell people, if you can't make a class, jump online. We do it through Zoom. So I feel like our team's really good about that. So it's just the inviting now, inviting people to attend. Stay positive. Don't worry about the outcome. We talked about that. If you have one person show up. People often say no several times before saying yes. So keep building the relationship. And that is so true. Those no's come in like hardcore. I've had my cousin flat out tell me, no, I don't want to know about your oils. I don't want to try them. No, like flat out. And I was so hurt. I was like, why? And that was like 6 months ago. And I just ran into her at a party on Saturday. And she goes, someone gave me a bottle of On Guard and I left it on the counter because I had she didn't know what to do with it. I guess somebody just gave it to her. And her kids just started using it. Like, they just opened it and started putting it on their feet. I guess maybe they've heard me talking. I don't know. And she said, you know what? I did nothing with it but to watch my kids actually enjoy and use the oil. She was like, oh my gosh, I was so in shock. She still didn't say she wanted oils, but she was in shock that her kids were using it. So little bit of a win, I feel like. That was 6 months ago. At least I got her, or not, I didn't give her the On Guard, but she talked to me about it. So we'll see. That no might turn into a yes in another 6 months. So we definitely want to try to stay positive, get out of our head, stop beating ourselves up or whatever we're doing, about kicking ourselves. Oh gosh, I can't do this. Nobody enrolled. I don't have a class or whatever. We want to push through. Some people will say yes. Some people will say no. And some will go either way depending on how you approach them. Take notes on what works for you. I wish I did this a little bit better when I started out, because I've heard other builders do this. When they meet someone, they'll not only write down their contact information, but they'll make little notes like about their personality, or they'll make a note on what oil was the first oil they talked about or asked about. Like these little side notes that if it's not a yes, you can kind of go back to that. Go back like, oh, this is what intrigued them. They have this type of personality. I really wish I did that. I'm 4.5 years in. I feel like, I definitely can start doing it now, but I really wish I had like these little notes on everyone. So if you're starting, that's kind of a good idea, I feel, to make little notes about people and their just their little quirks or their little personality things that will make you jive better. So there's a sample script. You don't need to do that. You know, you guys can read it. But anybody we talked about having this elevator speech. I know Auntie Sherilyn is on here. Does anybody want to share their little elevator speech? No? Anything? Anybody want to share if they had one person come to class? Any thoughts? You guys good?
It's Keisha. I wanted to kind of touch on what you were just saying about keeping notes, if can, real fast.
Yes.
Okay, so sorry you can't see my screen. I should try, I don't know, my Mercury retrograde. It's like something's working, something's not there. I don't know if
Oh,
you
there
guys
you
can see
are.
me, but
Yeah.
okay, good. Hopefully I don't look too hash. And what I like to do with the BOGO, especially, you know, when we text blitz, when people say no, that is something that, like you said, I have a spreadsheet and I kind of just write what their response was. And sometimes it's something like, oh, I'm saving up for a trip, so sorry, not right now. And then in my mind, sometimes they'll even tell me like, oh, a trip coming up in November. So in my mind, 2 months from November, I'll be like, hey, I know you're probably busy, you know, saving up for your trip and planning that out, but I have a sample of On Guard. I want you to take it with you, you know, spray the paper airplane tray. And they're like, oh, it's such a thoughtful gesture to do, but it's one way that you can make that connection with them and really work on establishing trust and relationship with your customers. So it's more than just like oh yeah, she only texts me when she get BOGO, you know, little notes that really help you to be a better communicator, because it's impossible. Many of us have children that play all the things, all the sports, right? And so we can't remember everything. And if you're a builder, I would highly recommend looking at the Square app. It's free to download. You can get a Square reader that's also $9.99 at like Walgreens or Longs. And when you set it up, they'll actually deposit $10 into your account. So it's like free for the Square reader. But what I love about that app is you can add your contacts from your phone contact. And I shared about this before, but what happens is it tracks their sales. So even if, you know, you have Auntie Mary from across the street that only buys from BOGO, you don't have to remember what she bought. You can go to your Square app and it tells you all the BOGOs she ever bought. And then from there, instead of just like, oh, I have a class, I try to really be like, remember turmeric that you bought, the BOGO before last? Here's an informational sheet on it. And if you have time, we're teaching a health and wellness class on this day or this day, so let me know. And so that has been a good secret for me in terms of like the BOGO and just trying to be better about a builder, because I feel like my enrollments have totally dropped off and I've been so hard on myself. Like, what am I not doing right? But kind of like you know, your cousin's like, no. But we have to really think of ourselves as farmers, if we will, and that we're planting these seeds and that some sprout right away and some take years to maturity, but we don't ever take it personal. We have thick skin and we just tried our best to keep our relationship good no matter what. So even if it's just checking in on them, like, their daughter got hurt, sprained her ankle, give her a deep blue rub sample and like a little bouquet of flowers or something, you know? So things like that we can do to help us with our invite. So it's not so like, oh, it's her again. But yeah, that's all.
Thank you, Keisha. That's so good. That's a good point. I love that. Yeah, I totally agree with that. That is so awesome. I love that you're doing that because it's early on enough too where you know, it's easy to track, because now I'm like trying to bust my brain like, okay, wait, who said this and who wanted that? You know, like what little sister wanted this? So no, that is so awesome. I love that. Thank you. So we're almost done sharing or going through this part of the guide. My time will be up because I have the free Zoom. So we can just briefly look at how well do you invite? Are you confident? 1 through 10. Are you feeling like super awesome and amazing? Oh yeah, I'm a 10. I invite hardcore. I'm super good. or one like, oh, no, I gotta kind of step up my game. So kind of keep that in mind, you know, if you don't want to share. But I think that's all good nuggets tonight. Making notes, pipes, communicating, inviting, and of course we're gonna pick up next week on the next few pages. We don't really want to rush through this guide because it's so good. But the last little quote here is, people love to talk about 4 things: their health, finances, emotional well-being, and relationships. As a wellness advocate, my job is simple. All I need to do is stop, listen, and build a relationship. It's the easiest job I've ever had. And that's so true. Like, that's what we're doing, right? We're sharing, we're building relationships. So go through your biz absolutely loving it, because if you're not loving it, then you're not going to put in the time and the effort into making it grow. You know, we do this business, most of us, we do it part-time, and we're trying to fit it into our very busy schedules. But it shouldn't feel like a chore. It should really feel like something we're really passionate about, and we really love it. We love our oils, we love doTERRA, we love what it's done for us and our families. So we want to get out there and just share with everyone. So thanks for jumping on. I know Wednesdays can sometimes be difficult, so I'm super thankful. We have to do a picture. Liza will kill me, but let me stop sharing. Hold on. And let's do a picture. I'm trying to figure out how to do this, obviously. I'm so not good at this. Okay, so if you can show your face, great. And if you can't, because there's a few black screens. Hi, there's Tash. Okay. There we go. Oh, and there's Auntie Sherlyn. Oh, you're driving. You're against the law, Auntie. Okay, it's all right. Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, guys. So thankful. We will be here. Liza will be back. So 8:30 next Wednesday. And like I said, you can text any one of us, anybody. We're all very happy to help and guide everyone. Let's pray for another BOGO. Oh my gosh, praying. We need more BOGOs. So I think they will. I think they're just on this surprise thing. So have an awesome night, and see you guys. Thanks for jumping on.